Insurance of South Carolina. I am Romanda Noble Watson, the Director of Communications and Public Relations with the South Carolina High School League, and I am delighted to moderate today's workshop. I know the information shared here during this summit will be enlightening for all of you. Unfortunately, Commissioner Singleton could not be with us today, but he sends his well wishes and good luck to a successful season. At this time, I bring to the screen TJ Ludine, my apologies, who is the Director of Public Information and Outreach for the South Carolina Election Commission. Welcome, TJ.
All right, good morning. Thank you for having me. So as you guys are hopefully aware, this is a very big election season. We have had some elections going on all throughout this year, going back to February and then primaries in June, and it's all coming up with a big general election happening in November. And so you all as captains and leaders of your respective teams are also leaders in your communities, leaders in your schools, and are an important voice for those areas which you represent. So what we're asking you guys to do as those captains is to also consider getting out information about voting, getting out information about registering to vote and knowing when you can vote if you are of age. So if you will be 18 come November, you can register to vote. You are able to vote in the upcoming general election, which will have races like president, vice president, but we'll also have local races like a sheriff or something local to your community where those make an impact on your daily life, as well as those larger races such as the president race like I mentioned. And so what you can do is visit our website, scvotes.gov, make sure that you have the information you need to register to vote, or go to your local DMV office and register to vote there as well when you go get your license or you go update some information there. And we're asking everyone in the state, you guys included, to prep for the polls. And that means to know what's going to be on the ballot in November come election day, know where you can vote, what your voting precinct is, and make sure your voter registration information is up to date. So we ask you to prep for the polls the same way that you would prep for any of your games coming up. You're going to go into a game with a game plan. You're going to make sure you know what you're doing. And we're asking every citizen in the state to do the same thing when they get ready to go out for election day. This is a huge election season for us. It's really wrapping up come November. So we just want everyone in the state to be sure that they're ready to do that. And if you guys can lead that effort in your own communities, hopefully we can get an even better turnout for this race than we did in February and June. So if you have any questions for me or need any more information, you can reach out. Our website is scvotes.gov. You can also email at elections@elections.sc.gov. I appreciate your time, and I wish you all great health and great luck this season.
Thank you so very much for bringing that important voting information to our captains. And now I bring to the screen the South Carolina High School League's Director of Educational Services, Dr. Cottrell Rodan, who will bring you some information and some tools to help you get ready for our dynamic speakers. And welcome, welcome. Yeah, you're muted. Yes. You're still muted. Yes.
Muted. Thank you.
There we go.
I'm sitting here just talking away. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I just got so excited. I hope that you are all healthy, happy, and well. I'm Dr. Rodan, Director of Educational Services here at the South Carolina High School League. I know that you're probably wondering, what is South Carolina High School League and why am I here? Well, actually, as a captain, you are your teams. You are essential to your team in creating a rich and wonderful community that is strong in leadership, sportsmanship, and community service. Now, I am an alumnus of the South Carolina High School League. I was once just like you, a student athlete, wanting to do my best as a student and athlete. And I was able to win a state championship and I was able to get scholarship, but most importantly, I was able to make my community proud. And that was due to my participation in interscholastic sports. And here at the South Carolina High School League, we want the same for you. Okay, your high school chose you to represent them at the highest level. And our job today is to first celebrate you for showing leadership. And then secondly, to give you the tools you need to be amazing. So let's go ahead and get started with our celebration. All right, so shout out to volleyball, girls tennis, swim, football, competitive cheer, cross country, and girls golf. Okay, this is amazing time for you. So welcome to our captain's course. We wish you well in your season, and we hope to see you at the state championships. If you see us there, shout us out and say hello. All right, so let's get to some norms quickly. So these are some norms that I want you to do while listening to these dynamic speakers, okay? So take great notes because you never know when you're going to need something that you got today in a critical time during your meet, during your game, and you have this now to pull from, okay? Now, I want you to also reflect on what you write down and some thoughts and things that you can then bring to your own community. How can you be of service? How can you be a leader? Then lastly, I want you to ask questions. So make sure that you're using the chat. Make sure to add your school. You can put your name if you want to be anonymous, that's okay. And then after that, challenge yourself to use at least one or two strategies that you learned today. All right, that's all I have for you today. I can't wait for you to hear these two amazing speakers.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Ronan, for getting us pumped and ready to go. And now let me start things off. Starting off today is a championship volleyball coach in the SCHSL and a newly inducted NFHS Hall of Famer, Paula Kirkland. In November of 2024, Coach Kirkland won her 15th SCHSL State Volleyball Championship at Dorman High School. She became the volleyball coach at Dorman, her alma mater, in 1980 and won her first state title in 1990. She won 3 consecutive titles from 1990 to 1992 and won back-to-back championships from 1995 to 1997, followed by 4 titles in 5 years from 2000 to 2004. 3 years ago, Kirkland passed the 1,000 victory mark and currently stands at 1,088 and has an amazing winning percentage of 86.3. She is second all-time in victories in South Carolina and ranked 11th nationally among active coaches according to the NFHS's National High School Sports Record Book. Kirkland has been Region Volleyball Coach of the Year 13 times and South Carolina Athletic Coaches Association, SCACA, Volleyball Coach of the Year 3 times. She was previously the NFHS National Volleyball Coach of the Year, Spartanburg Herald Journal Volleyball Coach of the Year 12 times, and she was inducted into the South Carolina Coaches Hall of Fame in 2004. 3 years ago, Kirkland was named the Max Press's list of 50 greatest female high school coaches from all 50 states. She was, of course, South Carolina's representative. For 8 years during the 1990s, Kirkland was as the school's girls basketball coach. She has been active in the American Volleyball Coaches Association and was volleyball chairperson of the SCACA. She assumed leadership of the Tournament of Champions a number of years ago and has kept the tournament going strong. Among her many successful players at Dorman is Thea Hall, who played at the University of Florida. Nationally, Kirkland recently concluded a 4-year term on the NFHS Volleyball Rules Committee. Please welcome to the screen Coach Paula Kirkland. Welcome in, Coach Kirkland.
Good morning. Thank you so much for that lengthy introduction.
No problem. And as we go along, please put your questions in the chat or Q&A box, and we will get to them as time permits.
All right. Well, once again, thank you so much for having me on South Carolina High School League staff. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to these wonderful athletes sitting in front of us. You folks, like they said, you're chosen for a reason. Your coaches see potential in you to be leaders on the team and to do some great things this season. So we're just going to go quickly to my little presentation, and hopefully you'll have some questions for me at the end. Okay, where is it? There it is. There it is. There it was. Where is it? There it is. All right, can y'all see that? I assume you can. All right. So Peyton Manning once said, can you see that, y'all?
I cannot see it. Let me.
Okay. All right. Where am I? I'm going to share screen. There it is. Can you see it now?
Yes, we can see it now. Can you just start it from the beginning?
There we go. All right. Here we go. So, Peyton Manning once said, you either get better or worse every day. You don't stay the same. So if you think about that, how can you as team leaders help the process of getting better each and every day? Because you're going to be essential to the whole thing. And your role in this, it doesn't matter whether you're a senior, a junior, a sophomore. It doesn't matter if you're a starter or if you're on the bench. All of these tips I'm going to give you, you can use to get better as a team leader. So next slide, let's see. This is what we're after. We're after first place, even second place, third place. We're after placing. But what happens to get there? All of this underneath happens to get there. And you, as team leaders, can help foster all of that. You can help everybody improve. You can facilitate the process. All the behind the scenes endeavors you can play a part in. Okay? So how can we do that? Well, you're going to be, hopefully, the spark plug, the firecracker, the energizer bunny, the person that brings it on your team. You're going to bring it. And I'm going to go through 6 ways in which you can bring it and help energize your team. Number 1, you're going to be verbal. They say a quiet bench is a losing bench. A quiet gym is a losing gym. A quiet team is a losing team. So you need to figure out ways that you can fix that if that's how it is on your particular team. You need to be verbal. You need to talk. You need to share with each other. And you need to understand that communication is contagious. So you want to be a leader in that respect. And that doesn't take any skill. So how do you do that appropriately? Well, I always tell our seniors and captains that you don't do it by yelling. This little icon up here, you don't do it by yelling. You turn people off by yelling. Okay? So there's a way, let's suppose that your coach or a teammate says, Kayla, can't you do any better than that? Versus, Kayla, come on, girl, bring it. You got this. Which one are you going to be more receptive to? Okay? So you have to think about your tone and how you're going to be verbal in the most appropriate and positive way. One of the next things you're going to do is bring on the power of physical touch. There was a 2014 study that found that teams that celebrated more with high fives and fist bumps won more games and scored more efficiently than average teams. So think about that. The teams that won more touched more. High fives, that doesn't take any skill. That doesn't even take much effort. You know, celebrate the little things throughout a game, match, whatever. Even use those touches to encourage when something goes wrong, because we all know that everything doesn't go right all the time. All right. So that's an easy one to do, and you can lead that. And you know what? That's contagious too. If you start, someone else will start. That same study found that teams with poor body language lost the most games. So you need to think about that and consider how that can be an influence on your team as well. You don't want that to happen. Number 3, you want to be an energy giver. An energy giver. You want to bring positive energy to every practice and every game. Okay. And energy givers are crucial to a team's success. Absolutely crucial. You want to be that energy giver and that spark plug. You can do that with smiles. You can do that with touches. You can do that with words of encouragement. You can do that with your body language. Think about that. Think about your body language. What does your body language look like when you're being coached? Is it positive or is it negative? How do you act when you come out of the game? That tells a lot. Do you walk to the bench? Do you run? When you get to the bench, do you sulk or do you high five your teammates? Do you play hard? Are you an eye roller, a shoulder strugger, a blamer, excuse maker? All of your body language, how you act while you're on the court or on the bench, it says something about your character and frankly your coachability. And I'll tell you this. If you're wanting to play at the next level, college coaches look at this. They look at it. And I have heard from coaches myself say, I won't recruit that kid because of how they act on the bench. So you need to pay attention to that. So you as a leader, you can lead the way. You can lead the way with a great positive body image. Number 5, I need you to challenge your teammates. Challenge your teammates. Sometimes your teammates aren't bringing the spark. They aren't, they've had a bad day and they're just a little sluggish out there on the field or the court. And you can, in a positive way, challenge them, to ask them to, come on, y'all, let's do the work. Let's do it. Let's do our best. Let's do it. And you can get folks to only worry about what they can control. Okay. That's the only thing they can worry about is their effort. Everybody controls your own effort. You control your own attitude. You control your own self-talk. You control your body language. There it is again. You control your attention to the task and you control your own execution. Okay. So as a leader, you can help folks in this regard. When you notice something, either in the locker room or on the court or on the field, and somebody's having a bad day and they're just not bringing it, you can be that person that goes and gives them that little spark with just a little bit of encouragement. You can do that. You want everybody to be the best teammate that they can be. So let's talk about how you be a best teammate. To be a best teammate, you never quit. You never blame. Okay? Don't complain. It doesn't get you anywhere. And for goodness sake, do not bring the drama. You want to bring your team down in a hurry, contribute to bringing the drama. Okay? So you as team leaders, you've got to watch those 4 things right there. Watch those 4, and you do not be the one that do either one of those. You also don't want to point fingers. Okay? Don't want to point fingers. And you want to set the example by not showing up late. I know the rule in our gym is early is on time. On time is late. So I don't know what it is in your gym, but you as a leader, set the pace. Set the pace. Be there on time. Best teammates never make excuses. They very rarely make poor choices. I can't say they never make poor choices. We all make poor choices, but they very rarely make poor choices. So when you're getting ready for this first home football game that's coming up, okay, and sometimes your schoolmates want to go out and they want to party a little bit before they go, that's a poor choice. Don't do that. You as a leader, step in and don't let your teammates get involved in those kinds of poor choices. The best teammates never run from a challenge. The coach gives you a challenge, step up to it. Okay? Try to get everybody on board for that. And the best teammates don't bring the negative energy, and they do not badmouth your teammates. You do those 2 things, and you're ensuring that your season is going to be a struggle. It's going to be a hard time. So to be an influential leader on your team, you, as leaders, must be the best teammate. Remember those 11 things. Okay? Number 6, the next thing you can do is make a hustle play. Make a hustle play. You know what those mean. That means diving for a ball, taking a charge in basketball and stuff like that. But just make a hustle play. Do something a little out of the ordinary. Go that little extra effort. Anybody can do that. You can do that in practice. You can do that in a game. Show people what you're about. Show your teammates that you're willing to make that selfless play to do a little bit extra. I'm getting ready to show you a video of our of a play that happened in our state championship match last season. We were playing against Wando, and on both sides of the net, both teams went after it. You talk about making an extra play. You talk about making a hustle play. You're getting ready to see one. Here we go. All right, watch this. Watch that. Now watch this. Now that was a hustle play. And then all the positive body language you see after that. Look at that. All the smiles, all the touches. Folks, that's one of the reasons we won. One of the reasons we won is we had that kind of commitment going on our team. So to recap, you want to be verbal. Winning teams communicate, okay? And that's just not on game day. You communicate all the time. Winning team leaders help in that respect. Touches, high five, fist bumps. It matters. It matters when you have physical touch with your teammates in the good times and the bad times. Be an energy giver. Anybody can do that. Be an energy giver. Bring the positive energy. Have the positive body language. Okay. Remember, it screams. It screams. So let it scream in the affirmative. Okay. Be positive with that. And challenge your teammates and yourself when you need to be. All right. And number 6, make the hustle play. And notice not one of these things, not one of these requires skill level. Okay. So as I said before in the beginning, regardless of your role on the team, whether you're a starter or you're that person that's a non-starter and trying to earn your way there, you can still lead, and you can lead in these 6 ways, and it takes no amount of skill to do that. And remember, folks, we're all in this together. Nobody does it by themselves. Okay? Nobody does it by themselves. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
Coach Kirkland, thank you so much. I'm gonna have you stay on the screen because I do have a question for you. And
Okay.
first and foremost, I'm not sure if anyone else wrote it down, but I wrote down all 6, and I took a picture of the slide that you put up with all 6 on there. But the question is, how do you lead when you're on a team that hasn't won a whole lot?
Well, you are in the process of learning together how to navigate positivity and negativity. And as I mentioned, all 6 of those things, it doesn't take skill level to do that. But I will promise you this, if you, as a leader and a coach, try to make the experience as positive as possible. Now, that doesn't mean that you aren't coached, and that doesn't mean that you won't face a little criticism here and there, but it's all in the approach and how you do it. So let's say your team's on a losing streak. You've lost, say, 3 or 4 matches in a row. If in the locker room, you as a team captain are negative in people's ear, it's not going to get better. I promise you that. You have a better chance of it getting better if you're positive. Okay, so I would say that trying to find a way to incorporate these 6 things that take no skill level whatsoever, those 6 things can help you bring your team toward a better chance of winning. Okay.
See, we have some more questions down here. From Drea High School, one of the questions is, what are some things off the court that we can do to be better leaders? It's a good question.
Well, I would suggest that you find ways to bond with your team. Go out to a special, like during the summer, my team would go after a practice, they would go eat lunch together. They would pick a restaurant and they would go eat lunch together. Now that school started and you don't always all have the same lunch, then maybe after a match one night or after a practice one afternoon, you go eat dinner together. Do some kind of team bonding. We as a team have done a ropes course together. We plan on doing that again later in the year. Go to a movie together, go see Inside Out, that talks about feelings, whatever. Find something to do that you enjoy. If you're all going when football starts, you're all going to the football game together, that's fine. All of you go together, sit together, cheer together, dress up together, whatever. But off the court, find ways to come together as a cohesive unit, learn something about your teammate, not just the fact that they're a good, in my case, volleyball player, but learn about what they are as a human being, how they are as a person.
Okay, that's a great answer. And so Ben Touchberry asked, what do you do when you talk to your teammate quietly and they don't take your advice?
Well, you might need to talk a little bit louder. But again, it's all about the tone. It's all about the tone. But yeah, some people, it may take more than once. You know, you may have to reach out. Some people are a little bit, they shield themselves and they don't want to be approached, and they're a little bit, I wouldn't say shy, but they don't know how to take it. So they might have to hear it more than once. So you might have to get creative in your approach. Uh, say they're always late and you're trying to help them with that. So probably just telling them one time, hey, you don't need to be late anymore. That's probably not going to do it. So you might have to give them an incentive. Hey, why don't you come early with me so we can together set up the net together. We need to earn some brownie points with the coach. Let's get here early with me and let's do this or let's do that. So there are different ways that you can do it, but you probably have to do it, say something quietly or even loudly to them more than once.
All righty. So we have good questions. We have from your high school, Norman High School. How do you lead when there are multiple strong leaders on the team?
Yes. So sometimes you can have too many chiefs, too many voices in that locker room. What you have to do is, as a group, maybe get together and talk about it. Like on our team, for example, we have 5 seniors and they're strong personalities, all 5 of them. Some a little louder than others. And just because you're loud doesn't mean you're right. So you have to understand that. What I would say is communicate and appreciate the communication by each and every person that is willing to offer something. Now, if there's just such a difference of opinion, this person, player A is over here and this one's over here, and they're not going to give, then player C might have to come in the middle and mediate. And let's say, all right, let's compromise. What can our compromise be? And that's a touchy situation when you have very, very, very strong personalities, but it can be done if each one of them is willing to listen. And when you listen, you actually hear. Okay, you don't just get quiet and let them talk. You actually listen and then try to respond in a positive way. And then they have to reciprocate that as well.
Okay. So from Camden High School, how do you make things better with a teammate who just doesn't seem to want to change?
Well, how do you make things better? I'm not real sure I have the answer for that, because some people just really will not change. But I will tell you this, if it is hurting your team, your coach will notice, and your coach may be the one that makes that change happen by, perhaps they're not on the bench. I mean, they're not on the court. Perhaps they're even to the point where their behavior is so detrimental they get put off the team. So those are some options that you as a teammate could possibly share with that person. Look, man, if you don't straighten up, what's going to happen? You cannot have, let's say you have somebody on your team that just shows out on game day. I had a kid a couple of years ago. I mean, just the attitude was, if something went bad, she went off. If something went great, she went off to the point where it came across as terrible, bad sportsmanship. And we're not going to put up with that, so, the teammates were always in their ear, and then finally it was to the point where she has to come off the court, So you just have to stick with it and stay with them, and they may or may not change, but they got to understand if they don't change, there's probably going to be some repercussions.
Sure of it. We have quite a few questions coming through from Manning High School. How, as a leader, can you deal with a negative teammate? Or should you deal with a negative teammate for that matter?
Well, you need to deal with a negative teammate, and you need to deal with it with your behaviors. You want to give the best foot forward. You want to model how you expect them to be, and you do not need to give into their negativity. Okay, so if they say something negative to you, turn back and say, I don't appreciate that. So you don't think I'm trying hard enough. Well, let me show you how I am. And then get out there and show them, show them with your behavior. If they say something bad to you, confront it and say, that doesn't help. That doesn't make me play better with your negativity like that. Your negativity is not helping our team. You can say that. You can say that. And again, remember, it's all about your tone. Because if you have the wrong tone, then that's going to turn into a verbal conflict. If you have the proper tone, which is filled with respect and positivity to a degree, as much as you can, then it's not going to turn into a verbal conflict, but it can turn into a discussion of sorts, and it may be, where it's a little strong discussion at some point, but at least you're not giving into the negativity. Combat the negativity with something else.
All right, so we have, let me take 4 more questions we can take. Coming from Jarvis Davis. I am a leader, but not a vocal leader. What advice would you give me to continue to be a leader, but more vocal?
Well, opening your mouth and letting your voice be heard, that takes courage, and you can do that. But some people have more experience with it than others. Let's suppose you grew up in a home where not a whole lot of people, you don't talk a lot. That's the way it was in my house. We're very quiet people. But I've been around people where they're so loud because there's so many kids in the house, they have to really speak up loud to be heard. So you may or may not be that person that likes to use your voice a lot, and there's nothing wrong with that. But those things that I talked about just in this very presentation, with your language on the court, your body language on the court, that speaks volumes. Having a high five, a touch, and you can say, good job. You can say that. That's not much. All right. So anybody, regardless of what your role is, anybody can participate in being a positive leader. And you can do that without having to say a whole lot. Do it by your actions and model the behavior that you want.
I think you may have answered about this question in your last answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What should we do about a teammate who brings the team down with negative talk to other teammates during the game?
During the game. Well, don't acknowledge it for one, or if she says something to you or he says something to you in the middle of the game, say, look, that doesn't help. Say it another way and then go and play the next point. You just can't let a person that, if you give them feedback and you give them reinforcement for their negativity, they're going to keep doing it. So you cannot give them that reinforcement. That needs to be either confronted or ignored. Not ignored, but don't give them any feedback so that they feel like they can continue. All right. If their negativity is not affecting you, then eventually they'll hopefully either be quiet or find another way. And you come back with something positive. Okay. If they always have something negative to say after the play, you always have something positive to say. And your teammates are going to listen to you. They're not going to listen to them.
Well, unfortunately, we don't have time to take all the questions, so this is going to have to be my last question because we do have another speaker, but we will definitely get your questions answered from Coach Kirkland. So the last one, which is really a good question, all the questions have been great. How can we better develop leaders among our underclassmen?
Include them. Like the folks that from my particular team that are on this Zoom right now, it's not just my seniors, it's juniors and sophomores, because everybody plays a role regardless of what grade level you are. Just because you're a senior, that doesn't make you the leader of the team. That makes you one of the oldest people on the team. So you develop those youngsters by including them. So include them in the bonding, include them in your locker room festivities, activities, whatever goes on in there in your particular locker room. Include them. Don't make your JV team feel like the outcast. You're a varsity level player, include the JVs. And we've had teams in the past where we have bigs and littles, meaning the older girls their job is to take a younger girl and mentor her throughout the season. Give her little gifts of encouragement, put a little note in her locker or something or give her a little gift on game day, whatever, but include them. If you include the younger kids and even let them participate in some of the decision making, let folks voice their opinion and be heard, then you will foster leaders throughout the program.
Coach Kirkland, thank you so much for answering all of the wonderful questions. And we will, like I said, we will try and get back to the links that was left in the chat. But if not, we'll have, if she wouldn't mind, Coach Kirkland, to answer those questions, we can send them to her and have her answer those. But we truly appreciate your time this morning and
Thank you.
those nuggets to take along with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you stop sharing your screen for me. Coach, can you hit the stop share button for us? So as her go off screen and stop sharing her screen, I will take this time to introduce our next speaker. Our final speaker this morning is Brandon Morton. Coach Morton was named the Jackson State University, JSU, running backs coach in February 2023. And this year, he was named the Director of Recruiting. He began his career at JSU in 2021, during the 2022 season while serving as a graduate assistant for the running backs. Morton helped coach running back Savion Wilkerson post the first 1,000 rushing season at JSU since 1999. And he helped lead the Tigers to its second straight undefeated season and second straight SWAC championship. Before going to JSU, Morton was a student assistant in strength and conditioning at Charleston Southern University in 2019 after playing running back at Charleston Southern University and San Diego State. The Beaufort, South Carolina native is the son of Alan and Karen Morton and is the youngest of 6 siblings. He is a 2013 graduate of Whale Branch Early College High School. Welcome, 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 Coach Brandon Morton.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's a pleasure to have me. I want to say, Coach Kirkland, it's an honor to be on here with you, such a legendary coach. And like I said, I don't take these things for granted. I would like to share my screen for a second.
Does it allow me to share?
Well, it's not going to share. Let me start this off with our creed. This is the beginning of a new day. God has given us this day to use as we will. We can waste it or use it for good. But what we do today is important. We can exchange the days of our lives for it. We want to be good, not bad, gain, not loss, success, not failure, and know that we never regret the price we paid for it. That's the creed we start our day off with. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I'm very intentional how I want my days to go. So as a team in our morning rooms, when I say this in the morning, I wake up, we have some of our guys come out and everybody knows the creed, and we stand on this creed because this is the intentionality behind our ship to success. Like I said, it was a lot of information that Coach Kirkland gave out to us, and I want to say thank you for that because those words of wisdoms literally help in my get better. Being here at Jackson State as a running backs coach and recruiting coordinator is nothing short of a blessing. And right now, I wanted to talk about the fundamental values. And I want to do a good job in not rushing and hurrying up these things as far as laying the foundation. And the foundation are the things that you build around. So when it comes down to getting to the next level, the number one thing I focus on is a unique process. People who talk big but do regular things annoy me, right? So I try to show a ground of resistance and I've grown resistant to things that are counterintuitive or counterproductive to being dominant. So what I'm saying is, if you want to have unique results, you have to have a unique process. I'll say it again. If you want to have unique results, you make sure you have a unique process. Now, on the other hand, when you do regular things, I hope you expect to have regular results. And those are one of the core values that we stand on as far as this game of football in Division I college sports. It's not easy. And in these things, these challenges coming from Beaufort, South Carolina, being in the same rooms and classrooms you guys been on, it took me some time to learn these, but I stick on the things that help me to do in my good better. I mean, in my quest to get better. So these are a few things that help hinder your get better. And so when I'm saying hindering your get better, it slows down your process. So number one of our top things is do not pretend to care less, right? Case in example, when we have competitive things, right? So we have sprints or any competition, it's easy to seek comfort and say, oh, I wasn't running my fastest. Oh, I wasn't going all out. Or, oh, it's just warm-ups. Oh, it's just one-on-ones. Do not pretend to care less. Hold yourself accountable and understand that everything matters. And number two, as far as being a leader, you can't blame others. Coach Kirkland spoke on that as well. And I tell my guys all the time, everybody has excuses, right? So as a successful person, right, and your will to get better, find an excuse to win. So right now we're in camp. They're outside practicing right now. Everybody knows it's hot. It's going to be hot. That's what it is. These are the conditions that we're in right now. This is the adversity we're facing. Let's find an excuse to win. So instead of saying, oh, coach, it's hot today, I can't run, or it's hot today, find an excuse to lose, so I'm not going to give it my all. Why don't you, the great ones, find a way? Let's find a way to value these excuses and find ways to get the job done. So say, hey, because it's hot, I got to make sure I'm extra focused today. Because it's hot, I got to be proactive and make sure before I come out here the night before, I got to drink my water. I got to get my electrolytes in me. I have to get a great meal. I got to wake up early and make sure I'm prepared and I'm intentional on having a great day. I know what's ahead. Adversity awaits around the corner. And for you people that's in high school right now, you got to understand adversity in life, not just in college sports, adversity in life awaits for you right around the corner. You have to know and expect that. That's part of life. That's part of growing. And in this process, it's not going to get easier. But the thing about it is you just get stronger after you continue to build these habits and have that mindset of get better. Another thing, when it comes to the do's and don'ts on our quest to get better, we don't seek comfort and we don't minimize our role. So coach said, not everybody's going to be a star player. Not everybody's going to get as a quarterback, only 11 people can play. So if you are number 2 and you got beat out fairly and things didn't go as you expected it to do, don't sit there and minimize your role. So we have walk-on guys, right? They're paying for school. They're here just out of the love of the game, and their cards didn't fall as they made, and they might be slow progress guys. We value those guys, and the ones who sit there and maximize their opportunity. Last year was our first year since I've been here for 4 years now, going on my 4th season. Last year was our first year having a scholarship player as our starting running back. So when I first got here in 2021 with Coach Prime, we had a guy, Tito. Tito was a walk-on. Tito started off as a cameraman, paying for school, came from Mars Hill, went to JUCO, walked on, just ready for an opportunity. And we talk about staying ready and not minimizing your role. He maximized that role to be able to come around and be productive in the camera crew. And when his opportunity came for him to get on the football team, he padded up and he stayed ready. And as he was doing the cameras, he was also studying the plays because he was ready. He was ready when we talk about that preparation. So come to find out, it was a crazy season. People started going down. We lost 4 of our top running backs. And you can look it up as well on the old documentaries. Tito came in as the cameraman, prepared, ready to go, padded up. He got the opportunity. He came in and he was the starting running back. Tito was 5'7", a $160, all hard in preparation. Didn't make no excuse. When he was on scout team first coming in, he played his role. He held the pads. He helped us as a collective get better. And when this opportunity came, he got praised for that. And he came in, and the next year, it's documented as well in a homecoming game. It was a rapper, Young Dolph, and all of them came in the locker room. We had a skit for him, and he earned that scholarship. The next year over, Savion Wilkinson, our 1,000-yard back, came in 4th string walk-on. 4th string walk-on. He didn't get many reps at all. But you know what he did? He was productive, and he valued his get better. So he didn't care about where he was at. All I need is opportunity. I just need to get on the field because I know I crafted myself and I'm prepared and I know what I'm capable of. And I tell the guys this all the time. Don't focus on proving them wrong. Focus on proving yourself and God right. You know who you are. You know you can play. Don't first, I'm going to prove them wrong. No, I'm going to prove myself right. And when this opportunity comes, I'm going to be ready and I'm going to maximize it. But not making no excuses, not minimizing my role, not pretending to care less, and not blaming others. Savion came in our first game versus FAMU. We won. He got up big. He came in the 4th quarter. He went from the 4th string running back. 4th quarter, he came in, got minimum snaps and what we call garbage time. And he put it on tape. We see, hey, 36. Even our coach, our head coach at the time, he said, hey, who was that kid running the ball? I know it's garbage time, but I like how he's going about it. He ain't just minimizing his role or pretending to care less. Oh, it's at the end of the game. I'm not getting much playing time and making excuses. He sat there and said, hey, I got about 2 minutes on this clock. I'm going to make the best out of it. He put it on tape. The next week came, he went from number 4 to number 2. We put him in the next game. He stayed ready, didn't make any excuses, didn't blame others, didn't minimize his role. He was a great number 2, helped each other out as far as being a great teammate and got rewarded. He came in, made some plays. As a walk-on, 4th string, now number 2. The week after that, he comes in as the starting running back, wins player of the week 4 times consecutive, and the rest is history. 1,000-yard back. And we talk about the people who value their get better and are determined in spite of, I'm going to find a way. I'm going to have that resilience. I'm going to build that toughness to really stick through it and see adversity. And the perspective of it is, oh, things are bad. Whoa, it's me. And make excuses and be thankful for the adversity because we know through that, we can get through anything. And outlasting the storm, he outlasted the storm. He stayed ready. And he know, hey, I'm not going to be on the sideline forever. And when he got that opportunity, he stayed focused. He made the best out of it. And now, for the last one, we talk about don't complain. And I said that before as far as not complaining. Nobody loves a complainer. And one thing I asked the players as well is 2 things I asked them, even in my recruiting path. I ask guys all the time, if you were to play yourself, how would you beat you? How would you beat you? And a lot of guys come in cocky and braggadocious. Oh, I'm unstoppable. No, but you got to be real honest with yourself. You know your strengths and weaknesses. So, hey, if you're bad in endurance, you can't play long. Coach, how would you beat you? I would ski myself up, make me play fast tempo, or I'm not as strong in the weight room. So I'll be physical and tough. Or, hey, I don't really understand these schemes, or I don't have lateral movement. That's how I'll beat me. And then the second question I always ask the players and recruits, if you were to coach you, if you were to put on this coaching hat and had to coach you as a player, would you be happy? Or would you want to coach yourself? Thinking about who you are outside of the game of football. Because in the college, it's the sport is just a little bit of your day. So we have these guys 24 hours in a day, spend 8 hours sleeping. We have these guys for about maybe 4 hours a day. Out of the rest of the day, you still have accountability. So making sure you're making the right decisions on and off the field, not doing things to hinder your opportunities, not taking a moment or 5 seconds of satisfaction to blow a lifetime opportunity. All it takes, 1 second, one wrong move, one bad decision to ruin your whole opportunity. We've seen it every year. Guys come in, take it for granted, don't do what they're supposed to do, and jeopardize all their hard work for one moment of satisfaction. And so when we talk about literally having that focus and staying on course in spite of how you feel, and everybody knows that greatness doesn't care nothing about how you feel. We know it. Everybody's going through stuff, family issues, health issues. That's fine. That's part of life. We can't at this level, and even in life outside of football, people really don't care about how you feel. You have to muster up, find that strength to be who you need to be, in spite of how you feel. And that's how you create discipline. You create that discipline and also building good habits. And so in the next level, we always tell guys, don't think once, don't think twice, think 3 times before you make a decision. And when you're making these decisions, like Coach Nick Saban says, here's something I want to do, but I know I'm not supposed to do. Do you have the discipline to stop yourself from doing it? Right? And on the other hand of it, here's something I need to do, but I don't want to do. Can you make yourself do it? Ask yourself those questions every day. Here's something I want to do, but I know I'm not supposed to. I want to go skip class, but I know I'm not supposed to because we got all this stuff going on and it's homecoming or it's the first week, it's game week. Ask yourself and be a professional decision maker. Can I stop myself from doing it? Right? Here's something I know I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to study to pass this test. I'm supposed to get up early on the first alarm at 5:30. I'm supposed to be on time and, like Coach Kirkland said, early to practice. Can I make myself do it in spite of how I feel? And once you establish that discipline in yourself and build that habit of being a professional decision maker, you will see it transfer over into every single part of your life. And I tell guys all the time, I know that who you are off the field translate on the field. You're never on time. You're always late. Is it a coincidence that when we're running inside zone, you're never on time on the mesh and you're late to the hole? Look at it. You did this day to this morning, you missed breakfast. You're not aware of time. You was late coming out to practice today when you had your pads out. And now guess what? When the opportunity comes on the field, because you're not respectful of it, it's going to translate over. And now you see yourself on film like, man, what happened to this play? Timing off. It's like your time was off this morning. So all those little things that we think don't have an impact, like Coach said, nothing stays the same. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. Nothing stays the same. So when you're making those decisions and thinking, hey, oh, it's just team meeting. I can be late. Or, oh, it's just breakfast check. Why do I gotta? It's because it's what you're supposed to do. And when you sign these national letters of intent, you sign that not just to play your sport. You sign that to be a grown adult. Meaning, as a grown adult, you don't make no excuses. You don't complain. And if you do something wrong, it's up to you. You make it right. You do something wrong, you make it right. And on the other end of that, you as your essence and as your being, you have to be truthful and reliable to get the job done. So, hey, I got study hall, right? I got to be there. I'm going to be there because that's who I am as a person. I get my job done. My job right now is to go to study hall, so I'm going to be there on time. My job is to go and study and pass this test. I'm going to do whatever I can to pass this test. I'm going to get it done. And you will start seeing that translate over into everything you do. I'm telling you, as far as being a young man in your seat, I'm speaking from experience because I've blown opportunities, not listening and having legendary coaches such as Coach Kirkland like us. And some of you guys, it goes in one ear, not the other, but life will teach you. And so we're giving you these things that as our job to say it. So you can never say, oh, nobody told me this, or oh, and be ready to make it find an excuse to lose. Seeking comfort. It's easy to point the finger at somebody else. But when you look back, you say, hey, Coach Morton and Coach Kirkland, the legendary Coach Kirkland, I heard that somewhere. They did their job. They did their part. Now it's up to you to apply those things, right? I know I'm going on a tangent, but last thing, when we talk about recruiting, how do I become a Division I athlete or a college athlete in general? D1, D2, D3. The number one thing is make your tape hot. Coaches love hot tape. So I said before, don't talk about it. Show it, put it on tape. That tape is your resume. And when we talk about greatness and guys and girls who can help impact us and keep our job as coaches, we love hot tape because we don't want it to be a one-time deal. We want you to be great snap after snap, play after play, whistle after whistle, because that's what you do. So if you make your tape hot, keep your face clean, don't get in any trouble. Coach, another thing you said that was very important, a lot of scouts we got coming through here. So last week we had the Atlanta Falcons and we had the New Orleans Saints. NFL opportunities. The first thing they came in here to watch is your tape. They don't care about no game. They don't care about who you played last year, all your awards. The first thing them scouts do was come in here and guess what? They talk to everybody. So they talk to the New Orleans Saints and the Falcons. They talk to your advisor. How's he doing in class? How is he as a student? How is she as a student? They talk to the trainers. Are you available? How do you treat other people? They talk to the janitors. They talk to everybody on campus. The strength and conditioning. Who are you as a person? Because the games are only one day, but we got to spend 7 days out of the week with you. So they come in here, we watch tape. And they know you can catch. They know you can play. They wouldn't be here if you couldn't play. They want to see your mannerisms. How are you as a teammate? How are you, your practice etiquette? Do you know how to practice? Do you look like a pro? Are you unique in everything you do? So we watching this film. Is this person getting to the ball? Is this person cheering on others? How do others take this person? Do they value this person as a leader? Is this person scared of confrontation and not holding other people accountable? How does this person accept feedback when they do something wrong and the coaches coach the problem? Because the coaches, they don't coach the person, they coach the problem. So here's a problem. This is what you did. Now let's fix it. Do you sit there and get in your emotions and suck your teeth and help and slow down your get better? Or do you say, yes, coach, I got you, coach, and find new mistakes to make and take onus on yourself? That's what the next level is all about. So when these recruits and these colleges come to your school, they're just watching who you are as a person. How are you when things don't go your way? You're supposed to be starting, but you're on the bench today. Or you're in a dog fight and it's tie game, minute left. Or you up 20 points. Are you going to turn it down? Are you going to sit back and chill and be undisciplined in your technique? And your technique go out the window? How do you go when football, you throw an interception, or as an old lineman, you give up a sack? Do you go back and do you fester on that? Or do you say, hey, next play, have a short play mentality and right your wrong? All those little things are the things that help you progress to being a great athlete and also a great person. Because those things coincide with one another. How you do anything is how you do everything. So when it comes to your get better, not making excuses, being just a valuable person and valuing people. How do you treat the janitor? How do you treat the people who can't do anything for you? The human beings. Those are the things that matter. Those are the things, those character things, the essence of who you are, those are the things that really matter. And when you hone in on those things and help be improvement oriented and detail oriented on how can I get better every day, watch how your career in anything in life, whether it be school and classroom, Let me go study today. Let me lock in, not make no excuses, not seek comfort, and do what I'm supposed to do. Let me just try it out. Try it. That's the thing I challenge all you athletes out there today. I dare you to go next month or so, just giving everything you got, focusing and not making no excuse. Do what you're supposed to do. Coach said, be there on time. Just push yourself. If you're an athlete like me, I've been known for messing up and not doing what I'm supposed to do. And so I challenge myself. Hey, I've been so used to people telling me, oh, Brandon, there he go again. He's not doing what he's supposed to do. There he go. Where's Brandon at? He's not at breakfast check. But you know what? My life changed when I said, you know what? I've been messing up for so long. I know what that's like. I'm a professional. Screw up. I'm gonna focus on this month alone, day by day, doing exactly what I'm supposed to do, and see how that changes your life. And taking every opportunity as gratitude, as a blessing. It's a blessing to be out here, to be able to play this game. It's a blessing to be out here in this heat, running laps, playing football, doing conditioning. Because it could always be worse. You got people every day looking at you like, man, I wish I could do that. And so don't forget that. Appear in the art of gratitude in everything you do. Thank you for everything. For the good and the bad. I'm thankful for this adversity. I'm thankful for this loss. I'm thankful for this wins. I'm gonna learn from it. And I know I'm going off, but I'm just really passionate about what I do, and I'm really passionate about the youth, because those are the things that I wish I had as a player. And I've had some great coaches, but it's the little things, the detailed things, how to do it, not rushing the fundamentals of your get better and what to focus on and how to focus, asking questions. So if you've been messing up for a long time, focus on somebody who's doing the right thing. And just do what they do. We all know that person who the community loves, the coaches love, this person doing the right thing. I'm gonna do exactly what you do. I'm gonna stay by you. I'm gonna stop messing around with the knuckleheads and the people doing wrong, because I don't like what that's doing to my life. Let me focus on, it might not be this person might not be the coolest, might not have all the glitz and glamour, all the TikTok fame and all that stuff, but this person has a thing that matters. Let's make right cool. And I'm gonna do that. And just watch how it impacts your life every day. I'm telling you, as a bear witness, I did a whole 180. And like I said, I took it for granted, and life showed me. Nobody goes untouched. You reap what you sow. So if you sowing good energy, positivity, love, and the quest to get better, being appreciative for people like Coach Kirkland, who actually take the time out of their day to show you love and critique you and be hard on yourself, to hold you accountable to who you said you want to be. Everybody want to go D1. Well, here's what you got to do. You got to be on time. You got to eat right. You can't be out there smoking and joking, partying all day. You can't do it if you want to go D1. If you want to go D1, like I said, people who talk big but do regular things, it's counteractive. It don't happen. You have a regular process and expect unique results. It's not going to happen. I promise you. So let's just focus on those things. Like I said, I'm so grateful for this opportunity to be here on the staff and being able to share back and give with you guys. I know I probably went on for a long time, but I appreciate everything. If you have any questions, please let me know, email me, and I'll do my best to reach out, because I want everybody to be successful. I want everybody to be who God created them to be. And it's not easy, but it's doable. And I promise you, it's the best thing you ever do for your life. So just stay focused, stay disciplined, and avoid comfort. Avoid comfort. It's easy, like I said, hit that snooze button. No, don't do it. Get up. Do what you said you were going to do long after the mood you said you were going to do it in has left. Just do it. I promise you. I'm so thankful. I know I went on, but I appreciate everything.
Well, it's fine that you went on, because I was taking my notes. The first two things I wrote down were the first two things you said: be intentional and value your get better. Thank you so much, Coach Morton, for those things. If you want to have unique results, you have to have a unique process. That is it. And the 4 bullets that I took away from your hinder your process. Do not pretend to care less. Being a leader, you can't blame others. Do not minimize your role and don't complain. So those are the 4 things that I'm take back to my office with me. But before we let you go, we do have a couple of questions that that is fitting for this that we couldn't answer with Coach Kirkland. But the one question that sits out is, after a hard loss, how can you bring positive influence to your team?
So in the times of darkness, how do you bring back the light? You know, positive energy attracts, you know, and not minimizing. Yeah, we harp on the bad times and it does impact us, but just knowing that we don't take losses, we learn lessons. I don't believe in losses. Because you lose when you quit. When you give up and you tap out and you quit, okay, that's a loss. That's a loser. But as long as you fight the good fight and you prepare and did all you can do, the only time you feel bad is, man, when you got to ask yourself and you know yourself, you know you didn't give it your all. But when you making sure, hey, I gave my all, and sometimes there's going to be people out there that just win that day, you know. And so when it comes from bouncing back, you have to have a short mind, a short memory. Every week, have a next opportunity up. And that's what you focus on. Get that one behind you, give it a day to sit there and think about it. Then after that, get it back on your feet and keep on fighting. And spread that energy and go back to your fundamental values. In spite of what's going on, we're still going to fight. We're still going to muster through, and we're going to give it all we got. Give it all you got every time. Have short memory. We say that with quarterbacks all the time. You give that play, or you might have given up the game-winning sack or through the game-losing interception. Hey, opportunities all around. That's just one moment. Because at the end of the day, people remember certain plays, but people also remember your attitude and what happened. They remember, like I said, as a recruit, I remember going and seeing kids who lost a game, they gave it their all, and they had their head up. And so I can't tell you how many points they had, what they did, but I remember, man, through adversity, this person persevered, and they were resilient. They had that grit. That's what grit's about. Hey, you might win, we might lose, but we're gonna do what we're supposed to do, and we're gonna honor those and cheer for those who win. But also, we're gonna get back in the lab, and we got another opportunity ahead. So let's let that go, and let's keep on moving, so to make sure that we can make new mistakes on our next journey and our next task at hand.
All right, and then this one final question. What are some things a student can do daily to become a better leader?
Things that students can do daily to become a better leader.
Mhm.
I always believed in trained behaviors become habits. Trained habits become instincts. Train your mind to do right things every time. So when it becomes habits, everybody says the whole thing of, what is it? Practice makes perfect. I don't believe in that. I believe, like Coach Michael Jordan said, perfect practice makes. So just because you're running, you could be running in place, you know. So that's why it's important to use your resources. That coach that's getting on you and always blow the whistle because of the details, those things matter at the end of the day. And in volleyball, everybody knows how to set, bump, and spike. Everybody knows that. But what's the difference? It's the details and how you go about it. And also being intentional, writing down your weaknesses. Hey, I'm slow. I got to get faster. Hey, I'm weak. I got to get stronger. Hey, I know I need to work on this. If I'm in football, I got to work on my catch and hand-eye coordination. Be intentional. Write those things down. Use your resources. Ask questions and put the time in.
Okay, so this one, this is a question that we all have to face it sometimes. How do you motivate yourself when things aren't going your way or you're having a bad day?
Then it's not necessarily bad days, it's bad moments. It's all based off of perspective. I like perspective development. And I've been blessed enough to go to different countries and stuff. I've been to some third world countries, been to Thailand and stuff. And the one thing I noticed, the people who have the least are the most happiest because they have what? They have each other. So I've been to some places, been to Bali, and it's rough out there, but you see the energy of the people because it's their perspective. Don't focus on, it's the 80-20 rule. Don't focus on the 20%, focus on the 80 or what you do have. If you woke up this morning and you can see, you got all your fingers and functions going on, you got breath in your body, you got a roof over your head, let's focus on those things. Don't focus on the little moment. That little more, that's fine. Let's be appear in the art of gratitude and just train your mind to shape your perspective on focusing on what you do and noticing, hey, things happen for a reason.
Mhm.
Now you might not understand that reason, but that's okay. I'm thankful for it anyhow. You just appear in the art of gratitude. Be thankful for the good, thankful for the bad.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Coach Kirkland and Coach Morton, for your insight and the tools that you have provided to our captains today. I wrote my notes. I'm sure the viewers have some things they're going to take with them. And we just appreciate you and good luck to your teams, both of your teams this season. I'm going to bring back Dr. Rodan to provide some remarks for the captains before.
Man, oh man. If you didn't learn something today, then you weren't listening. That was amazing. I hope you guys got what I got from it. You need to bring it. Make sure you're doing your physical touch, high five, let your team know how amazing they are. And then the thing that I got was your craft your get better. Like, oh my gosh, there were just so many nuggets. There's nothing left for me to give. I just wanted to quickly give a shout out to some of the amazing people who came through our league, and we just had the Olympics. So I was just quickly going to show you guys about Melissa Jefferson. Is an alumnus of South Carolina High School League member from Carvers Bay. She is an Olympian who just recently won the bronze medal in the 100 meter and the gold in the 4x1. More amazingly, she gave bone marrow in 2017 to her father to save his life. So she is South Carolina strong, and she comes from these same schools and these same state as you. You could be great. Just remember that. And that's all I have for you today. This has been a blessed and wonderful experience. I hope you got as much from it as I did. And good luck and congratulations on your season.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rodan. And before we go, I need to let you know a couple of happenings of the South Carolina High School. We are working on this fall emergency action plan week, and I'm sure that some of you have already practiced your EAP, and others have theirs planned for today. For today and tomorrow. And next month, September 16th through the 20th, will be Living Clean Week. So mark your calendars. More details will follow. To stay up to date on everything South Carolina High School League, visit our website, www.schsl.org. Thank you so much again for attending today's Captain Course workshop sponsored by Farm Bureau Insurance of South Carolina. I truly hope you take some of those nuggets back with you, and good luck to all of you all this season.